Before we get into today's video, if you're new, like the NBA, high school, college, really if you like basketball in general, I really think that you would love this channel. So if you aren't already, feel free to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I upload at a new daily basis. And, liking, subscribing, doing all those things would just be a gigantic help to me to reach that goal of 1,000 subscribers I am trying to reach by the end of the year. With that being said, let's talk about Paolo Banchero, who is one of my favorite players in the 2021 recruiting class, and one of my favorite players when we're talking about guys who I believe are going to be special NBA players in the future. He stands at 6'9", he weighs around 235 pounds, he's a power forward from Seattle. He attends Odeya High School. He's currently ranked the 4th best player by 24/7 Sports and 3rd best by ESPN in the 2021 recruiting class. I believe he is one of the 2 best players in the 2021 recruiting class, and the only player I honestly believe that you can make an argument for being better than him is Adrian Griffin Jr. from Stepinac. And the first thing that stands out to me about Paolo Banchero is the size. 6'9", 235 pounds, as I said earlier. That is great size for an NBA power forward or small forward right now. It truly is. And he's 17. And the scariest part about it is he hasn't even filled out his frame yet. He still has time to add muscle, add weight, and he may not even be done growing. So this could be a guy we're talking about like 6'10", 250 or 6'11", 250 by the time he, fills his frame out. And it isn't just about him as a size guy. He has great skill. He has a great ability as a face-up and post-up guy. I wouldn't say he's necessarily better at one than the other. He's pretty good at both of them. And he is best from the high post. He loves to take jumpers from the high post. He can take bigger defenders off the dribble. Guys that are power forwards and centers just cannot stay in front of him. They can't guard him. They're equipped to necessarily deal with a guy like this at this position. They don't deal to defend that. That's just not what they're used to doing, I'm guessing. Because he can. He isn't some post-up guy who does project, though, as a 4'5" in college, but he has the skills of a small forward. He can take guys off the dribble. He can hit a jump shot. He can find people with his vision. He has outstanding vision. He can find cutters. I'm not saying he's a guy who can run at point guard, but for a power forward, he could be a guy that gets you 6 to 7 assists per game, I believe, in the future. I think he has that kind of ability. And again, because of his size, he's a great rebounder as well. And I think he'll just continue to be a great rebounder. He also seems like a player that isn't necessarily struggling with tunnel vision. He doesn't necessarily struggle with that. I think that's something that's very much something people should look forward to when you're looking at him as a prospect. Because players this talented, sometimes he can be a little bit harder to play with because they're so talented and they feel like they have to score all the time. Paolo doesn't seem to struggle with that as much when you watch him play. And I think that is a very valuable thing to have. Defensively, I don't know if he'll ever be an all-NBA level defender. I think it's actually very possible because I don't think he's athletic enough to guard power forwards and centers and maybe some small forwards as well. But that's all up to effort and things like that. I think he can. But he has great IQ to protect the rim as well. And there really isn't anything that is outstandingly bad about Paolo Banchero. And I think this is what makes him, a borderline, if not generational talent at that position. I think he's the best power forward prospect to come out of the high school games in Zion Williamson. I believe that he has potential to be a superstar in the NBA one day. I think he's going to be incredible wherever he goes in college. Right now, it's looking like it's either going to be Washington or Kentucky. I would lean more towards Washington. And I also would look at where Kennedy Chandler, who I believe is the best point guard in the country, is leaning towards, because there's a rumor going around that Kennedy Chandler and Paolo Banchero are going to go to the same school. So think about that as well. But wherever he goes, he'll have a gigantic impact. And I just hope he doesn't go to Duke to play with AJ Griffin. But this is a high character kid, great kid, does well for his community. I've been impressed with how he's handled the situations around the country and how he's been able to use his platform to speak out for that. And he's an incredible basketball player. There isn't really much. Like, if I was to say one thing that I would say, okay, what does he need to improve on? It would be efficiency from the 3-point line. That's the one thing. And it's not like he's not capable of hitting them. He's a good shooting forward, in my opinion. But I do think if he improves his efficiency from 3, it's kind of like Kuminga, where it's like, if you improve as a shooter, like, you'll be unstoppable. If he improves on that, he'll be unstoppable. Like, it's just so intriguing to watch him play, and it sometimes leaves you speechless, because it's like, wow, he's really only a 17-year-old. And I think that the more you don't, and he doesn't just struggle with the things that a lot of talented players do mentally, and it's just so unbelievable. Like, you see me right now, I'm kind of struggling to come up with words, and I have a script right in front of me, and it's hard for me to describe how insane he is as a player. And again, I believe he's a future top 5 pick in the 2022 draft. I believe he's going to put big numbers in college. I think he has a chance to be one of the bright young stars in the NBA that we could be talking about as one of the best players in the NBA in 5 to 10 years. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. It means so much to me, guys. You guys don't understand. But again, thank you. Like and subscribe if you're new. Feel free to leave feedback in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.